Monkey woke up to the sound of his phone buzzing with notifications. He reached for it, checked a few emails, responded to a couple of texts, and before he knew it, an hour had passed. The morning seemed to slip through his fingers, and he hadn't even had time to properly start his day. His mind was already racing, jumping from task to task. A new problem, a new challenge, a new deadline. But Monkey wasn't lazy. No, he was just dispersed. His brain was constantly jumping between thoughts, like a monkey hopping from branch to branch in the jungle. One minute, he was planning his day, and the next, he was distracted by a random idea or a funny meme that popped up on his phone. His mind was always busy, but somehow, he never seemed to make any real progress. How many of you can relate? You wake up with a long to-do list, but by the end of the day, you feel like you've accomplished nothing. You're busy, but are you productive? Monkey's life wasn't about a lack of tasks. It was about too many tasks. Every day felt like a whirlwind of work, social obligations, and self-improvement goals, but Monkey never had time to actually sit down and reflect on what truly mattered. He was caught in a loop, always running, but never really getting anywhere. The chaos builds. Monkey's life had become a blur of tasks and distractions. He had tried every productivity hack under the sun, time blocking, using apps to track his progress, writing endless to-do lists. But somehow, none of it seemed to help. He'd look at his calendar, see it packed with meetings and deadlines, and feel an overwhelming sense of exhaustion. He would think to himself, why am I doing all of this? He had stopped asking himself that question because the answer was always the same. I don't know. He had no clear direction. His days felt like a race, one where he was always trying to keep up, but never winning. And despite working hard, he felt like something was missing. This wasn't just about being busy. This was about feeling empty despite all the movement. Monkey had become a slave to his schedule. He had gotten so wrapped up in chasing productivity that he forgot to ask, what am I really chasing? The turning point. One day, as Monkey was sitting at his desk, overwhelmed by yet another overflowing inbox, he glanced out the window. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, and everything outside seemed calm and peaceful. But in his mind, chaos reigned. He was stuck in a perpetual loop of doing without living. That's when it hit him. Life is short. It wasn't a new realization. Everyone knows that life is short. But for Monkey, it was a wake-up call. He had spent so much time worrying about checking off boxes and meeting deadlines that he had forgotten to actually live. His life had become a series of tasks, and he had become disconnected from the joy of the present moment. He remembered a conversation he had with his friend, a wise old owl who lived in the tree outside his window. The owl had told him, don't let your life pass you by in a blur of tasks. Stop, breathe, live. At that moment, Monkey realized that he had been treating his life like a race with no finish line. He was constantly moving, but moving in circles. And no matter how fast he went, he couldn't outrun time. It was time to change his approach. The conflict and solution. Monkey sat quietly, taking a deep breath. His mind was still racing, but he made a conscious decision to stop trying to control everything. He would no longer let his schedule dictate his life. Instead, he would choose how to spend his time. The first step was simple. He had to prioritize. Monkey began by asking himself, what is truly important? He started identifying the activities and relationships that added value to his life and began saying no to things that didn't align with his values. But it wasn't just about removing distractions. It was about replacing them with meaningful activities. Monkey decided to spend more time doing things that brought him joy, going on long walks, cooking meals for friends, reading books, and, most importantly, being present in the moment. He also realized that productivity wasn't about doing more. It was about doing less, but with more focus. Instead of juggling 100 tasks, Monkey chose to tackle one thing at a time, giving it his full attention. When he focused on the task at hand, he found that he was able to accomplish more with less effort. It wasn't easy. The temptation to check his phone, to respond to every email, to fill every moment with activity was strong. But Monkey had a new mantra. Don't just do something. Be something. He embraced the power of stillness. He realized that sometimes the best way to move forward was to pause. When he gave himself permission to simply be, his mind became clearer, and he found that the answers he had been searching for were always inside him. The loss and realization. There were moments of loss along the way. Monkey had to let go of old habits, relationships, and commitments that no longer served him. It wasn't easy, and sometimes it hurt. He realized that he couldn't keep up with everyone and everything. He had to choose what was most important to him and let go of the rest. It wasn't a smooth journey, and there were days when Monkey felt uncertain. But with each day, he felt more grounded, more at peace with his decisions. He found that by living in the present, he was actually making the most of his time. He wasn't chasing after a never-ending list of tasks. He was embracing life as it came. Conclusion: a new beginning. In the end, Monkey learned a valuable lesson. Life is short, but it doesn't have to be rushed. You don't have to do everything or be everything. The key is in choosing wisely how you spend your time. The real question isn't what can I do with my time? It's what do I want to do with my life? When you focus on what truly matters, whether it's relationships, personal growth, or simply enjoying the present, you'll find that you not only get more done, but also live a fuller, more meaningful life. So ask yourself, are you living or are you just running? Because time won't wait. It's up to you to decide how to spend it. Life is short, but that's what makes it so precious. Now it's your turn. How will you spend your time?